everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you guys for joining me today for Lunch and Learn episode 21. And today we are going to talk about the power of belief. And I'm very excited to do this because, as most of you know, I would say 95% of whether you're successful or not is your belief system, what you have in your brain. And because any skill can be learned, right? We can all learn a skill. We can all learn how to make a call. We can all learn how to follow up. We can all learn about a comp plan. We can all learn, all the basics. So let me get my lesson, which someone closed my book on me. So give me a second. All right. Oh, this is so good. I'm so excited to do this one for you. This is another teaching from the great John Maxwell. So I'm very excited because his stuff is just literally, it's like gold nuggets of wisdom. So hope you guys are having a good day. It's Friday, November 11th. What a crazy week this has been. So we're going to talk about the belief and the beauty of it and what it can do to just catapult you to the next level. So the first thing I want to talk about is, when you believe in what you're doing and you teach that to others, then you're going to have an exponential effect. Like, everyone knows that I do this industry because it's not just about selling products, directly, but if I sell products and I teach other people to have success in the industry, then we have an exponential, right? You don't just add, you multiply. So multiplication is what, really this is all about. So you cannot give what you do not have. So the first thing you have to do is have belief. And you know that you have it or not because if you have it, you have an aura around you. You're attractive, not physically, but you're just an attractive person. And you cannot fake it. Oh, this is a big one. And, many of you guys know my path in MLM and how I actually have been in a few different companies. And one of the reasons I make a transition when I do is because I lose belief in what I'm doing, and I can't fake it for a paycheck. No matter how much money I'm making, I cannot sit there and look at someone in the eye and say, you can have success in this company if I don't believe that you will. And you cannot fake belief, right? No matter how much you want the money, no matter how big your why is, no matter, how bad you want to close a sale, you cannot fake belief. Guys, people have a BS radar bigger than you can imagine. So, you cannot give what you don't have. So if you don't have belief and true belief in your company, your products, this industry, and yourself, you cannot give it away. So you have to start with you. And the most important thing you can do always is raise your belief. And we're going to give you some specific steps. But belief is always tested during difficult times, right? Sometimes when the going gets rough, it's easier to look in the mirror and say, okay, well, if I want to leave, did I believe in what I do? And I'll tell you that, I don't talk about my products or my company because I really do want this to be general free MLM training. But my belief is so high in what I'm doing right now. I promise you, even if every single person, all 12,000 of my people quit tomorrow, I will keep doing this. That's how much I believe. So there won't be any famine that gets me out. And I don't believe that it will ever happen. But if it did, I believe so wholeheartedly in what I'm doing that nothing will be able to take me off of my journey. So you will be tested. And if you don't believe, you will have to make changes, right? If you don't believe and you're still trying to sell somebody on it, you're going to be perceived as shallow, insincere, frivolous, right? False belief is what we love to call in this industry is hype. And nobody is going to build a legacy on hype, and hype can be caused by a lot of things, stroke of luck, timing, momentum, but you can never build a long-term sustainable business and a legacy on hype. So you have to think, are you hyped up right now? Or do you fully believe with all of the thread of your being of what you're doing? And true belief makes, I don't know what that said. Okay, so you have to have a general belief in yourself. You have to have a general belief in others. You have to have a general belief in what you're doing. You cannot talk about what you do not know. Now, if you are in a product-based company, services are easy because a service is always going to work, right? If it's a technology, it's always going to work. The products are subject to interpretation and also your body. Just because one person loses weight on a program, I've seen people lose 200 pounds on a program that other people don't lose any weight on, right? So it is subject to personal circumstances as well, right? So if you have a nutritional product, you don't have to say, well, I'm going to wait till it works for me, because what if it doesn't ever work for you? You're going to walk away. I mean, if it works for thousands of other people, you're going to walk away from an opportunity just because it didn't, quote, work on you. Well, what if you just had other bad habits, right? You cannot, if you have bad habits and you're smoking and drinking and eating fast food all day long, ain't no product in the world going to help that, right? So you have to understand is it working for the majority of the people? Is there proof that it works? And are other people having success, right? That can give you belief even if you don't, quote, feel different, right? I've sold products where there was 80 years of science or 40 years of science backing up, but people didn't feel it. It didn't mean it wasn't working. It's like saying, well, I ate blueberries today and they didn't work. So anyway, that's just a side note. One thing you want to do is you want to protect and guard your belief. You want to be around other people who believe. Do your mentors believe? Does your upline believe? Does the community believe? There's nothing more important than, the leaders believing in their people and they're believing in the mission. And that should leak into every aspect of your team, right? Belief is huge. I always tell people I believe in them. We're depending on you and you're depending on me. We have to believe in each other, right? It's a symbiotic relationship where belief goes both ways, both from the leaders to the people and the people to the leaders. And when you come into contact with people who have self-belief, it's confidence. Now, there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Confidence is, I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know why I'm going there. And you become a very attractive person because so many people are lost in the world of options. And there's so much distraction. There's so many things that are deep ingrained in us that one of the most attractive things in the world is someone who knows where they're going and why they're going there. That's belief, and they are very attractive. So remember that you can be very attractive. Hang on. Drop my pen. Okay, so where does belief come from? Now I'm going to give you several places that belief can come from. It could come from your background, right? Even though I had a very mediocre, sometimes, my dad was in real estate. My parents got divorced when I was 5. And my stepdad was a jack of all trades. He was always doing something different, construction and insurance and, getting odd jobs here and there. My mom, same thing. Neither one of them had college. None of my parents had any college. My dad came over here from China in 1950 or 50 when he was 12 years old. My grandfather on one side, by the way, both of my grandfathers served, and so did my father. So get a love, because today's Veterans Day. Let me give a lot of love for my father and both my grandfathers on both sides are veterans for our great country. And they've all had very, very, very humble beginnings. My grandfather was a toll collector for the Benicia Bridge here. So he made probably minimum wage. My grandmother, they had 5 kids, and my grandmother would walk, miles to save a penny. Back then that was probably a lot more money, but they grew up very poor. So did my father. The house that my father grew up in still is in our family. It's like 1,000 square foot in a not so great neighborhood. So I had very humble beginnings on both sides. And, but my father was in real estate, and I think that's probably one of the only industries outside of network marketing, because I sit in first class all the time, and I have met many people in sales that have never heard of, John Maxwell or Brian Tracy or other, Zig Ziglar and all these, past great Earl Nightingale. I mean, there's so many. So it's like, just because someone's in a sales organization doesn't mean they have good personal development. But my father did. He was reading Jim Rohn and Dennis Waitley. In fact, I have some of his old little books. In fact, one of them sitting right here, that this was my father gave this to me. Excerpts from the Seeds of The Greatness of Treasury by Dennis Waitley. And this is so old. I don't even know how old it is, but my dad gave me these a long time ago. They were in a box of his, and I said, can I have them? I would love to see what the copyright on this is, when it was published. But so my dad was one of these people who actually did read, and he did fill his brain, and he said something to me all of my life that will never, ever, ever leave me. And I say to my children as much as I can that if you believe in something strong enough, the universe will conspire to make it happen. I literally heard that hundreds of times growing up, right? So your background, it could be something that your parents really encouraged you, or they encouraged you to get out of the situation, right? Doesn't matter, good or bad, you have a choice anytime to go back and live a happy childhood, by the way. So one thing is, you might believe in possibility because you didn't have it, and you might believe because you did, right? A lot of people, again, yesterday you heard, we're not victim of our circumstance, we're a victim of choices. So again, take on your childhood and say, well, maybe it happened to me, not, or it happened for me, not to me. So your childhood may have a very big impact on your beliefs. Number two, your friendships. Now, I'm going to be very, very bold in saying, be careful who you surround yourself with, because if you're living a dream and you're really on a path and you believe in what you're doing, and everyone around you is telling that you're crazy, telling you that you're unrealistic, telling you that your head's in the clouds, just remember, Jen Rohn said that you become the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. Their belief, their level of thinking, their level of health. If you ever noticed that, you know what the number one risk factor for obesity is? Number one risk factor of obesity is if your family is obese, if your parents are obese. That's the number one impact. That's the number one risk factor for obesity. You have a 58% chance of being obese if your parents are obese. So why? Because it becomes socially acceptable. All of a sudden, if someone else is obese, they're not going to criticize you, right? Same thing. If all your friends are broke and all your friends are in debt and all your friends are unhappy, or all your friends are drinking all the time, you're the one trying to get out. They're going to criticize you because they're going to feel bad about themselves. So hold very, very carefully who you spend the most time with. It doesn't mean you need to dump your friends and family. It just means, who do you spend the most time with? And if they don't believe in you, don't be around people who don't encourage you, who don't think well of you, who don't want the best for you, who don't, say, oh, you found a way to out, or you found a way to make extra income. Great. I'm all for you. What can I do to help you? Right? And they're like, oh, you're one of those things. Ugh, everybody ignore her because she's, don't be around people like that. Self-belief doesn't remove doubt. It helps you overcome it. Okay. Self-belief doesn't remove doubt. It helps you overcome it. We're all going to have doubt. We're all going to have times where we're like, oh, even I'm like, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? Right? We're all going to have times. Self-belief will just get you over it. Say, okay, what in my past have I done? So one of the best things you can do as a leader, you guys, is get people little victories. I like to say, belief extenders. All right. Number 3, this is a really big one. Belief can come from inside victories. This is a really, really, really huge. Yes, Anna, that's a great. My grandmother always said, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Exactly. And if your friends are going through a lot, you might want to be like, well, let's have a timeout. All right. Belief can come from inside victories. You have to win for you and yourself when nobody else is looking, when only you know. So if I say, sorry, my nose is like itching. I'm like something in my office I'm allergic to, because every time I come in here, my nose itches. Every time. So if I tell you, make a list of 100 people and call them and invite them to the call that we're going to have on Thursday, you have to make the call. I'm not going to sit there and watch you make the call, because that would just make you uncomfortable, and that would make you feel weird, and that would make you feel pressure. You have to make the call. If you need to do personal development every day, I'm not going to sit there in your living room going, hey, have you done your 10 pages? Let's go. You got to do it yourself. You got to have some self-motivation. You have to have some accountability. You got to do what you need to do when no one's looking. Respect is the greatest form of respect is self-respect, that you are believing and you are proud because you're doing the things you need to do and having those inside victories. And by the way, That's when you're going to start winning. That's when belief is built on those inside victories. That is the greatest respect you can have, is self-respect. Because if you start making those calls, even if you fail, you're going to have success because you're making the calls. You're facing your fears. You're getting one step closer. You're learning, you're growing, you're stretching. The inside victories are huge. And the hardest person to lead, if this is the most important part of this call, by the way, if you remember nothing else, the hardest person to lead is yourself. It's easy to tell everyone what to do. The hardest thing to do is continually doing it yourself. So have inside victories. Make the calls when no one's watching. Do the follow-up when no one's watching. Get uncomfortable when no one's watching. Do your personal development when no one's watching. Do the activities you need to do. Sit there and study your comp plan when no one's watching. Sit there and study. And you don't do it for the high fives. You do it for you. That's probably the greatest gift I have, is that I am inner motivated. I don't do it for everyone else. I do it for me. I do it because I want the most from me and my family. And I want to leave a great impact on this world. And I'm a health and wellness entrepreneur. I want to help make this world a better place. I have a definite purpose. So everything I do, I don't need a boss. In fact, that's my why, is not have a boss. I don't need a boss. I don't need an upline telling me what to do. My upline is just my friend. She's so sweet. If I need mentoring or guidance in a situation, because she has been in the industry for 25 years, I will look to her for her wisdom and her guidance. But I don't ask her to motivate me, and she brings me gifts, and she's just there as my friend. So inside victories, that's probably the most important. And then the next one is outside victories. You got to have outside victories. You got to have personal goals. You got to grow into your goals. Sometimes you set a goal, and if you're not hitting it, you need to grow into it. You need to do more. You have to study more. You have to become more. You have to spend more time. You have to grow in. But outside victories are basically doing it publicly, and the belief will come when other people see that you didn't quit. That's an outside victory. So if you're on my team and I enroll you and you just go into the witness protection program, then I don't have any belief in you. You're not winning an outside victory with me. What you're winning an outside victory with me when you say, Tara, I'm going to make phone calls and I'm going to put at least 5 people in my living room for you on Saturday, or 10 people, or I'm going to people. And when I show up to the call, I see the outside victory is I see the calls you made because the people are showing up on the calls. If you have 11 people on the call, then I know you probably made at least 15 to 30 phone calls, depending on how high your influence is. And winning teams have players that make things happen. You cannot do it all yourself. You're going to have outside victories from everyone on your team. Everyone's going to have to move the needle forward. See, network marketing teams don't succeed when a couple people do a lot of work. Even though a few people rise up in leadership, that's because they're doing more. Their nets are wider. I just enrolled more people. If you enroll as many people as me and you build like I build with them, you're going to have as big an organization as me. So it seems like I'm doing more. I'm probably just doing more consistently than doing more. And there are people have enrolled me, but maybe there's something in the situation where they're not team building like me or something. But winning teams are when a lot of people do a small amount of business consistently, right? Consistently. So how do you allow yourself to believe in others? Well, you look for the best in them. You find anything in their potential. Like when I see someone that has just a kind heart, I'm just like, that could be your edge. Or when I see someone that's really smart, I'm like, that could be your edge. You could be a teacher. Or when someone's a numbers person, I'm like, you could be the one that explains the comp plan to everybody. Or when I see someone that's a connector, I'm like, you could be the one that arranges all the events. You could be the one that puts people in the living room or the hotel. Everyone has their unique gifts. And as a leader, help them have the victories by seeing the potential in them, right? Getting them, wanting them to be successful. I believe that most people want to be successful. Nobody just taught them. Nobody taught them. I believe everyone wants to be successful, but they just have never been taught, right? Outside victories are when you do it and people see it and everyone can celebrate. And that's why recognition is so huge in our industry. You know, we have a culture that if you go up one rank, even if you didn't do much to get there, we're going to recognize you. We're going to recognize the activity. I always say, hey, shout out to so-and-so for putting 12 people in our launch call, or so-and-so for putting 12 people in their living room, or 5 people in their living room, or signing up 2 customers on their first day. Like, recognition. I mean, babies cry for it. Grown men die for it. Everybody loves recognition, even if they're already successful, even if they're already making money. Everyone loves recognition. That's what outside victories are due. So become a person that believes, and if you believe in them, you will help them, and you will help people have those outside victories. And when you start having the outside victories, by the way, you're going to want to have more inside victories. So that goes hand in hand, is when you start having outside victories, you will go, and in the privacy of your home, you'll have more inside victories, because inside victories, by the way, can lead, especially in network marketing, to outside victories. Because all of a sudden, if you make 100 phone calls and you're signing up people and nobody knows about it, these are inside victories, but boom, you all of a sudden blow through 5 ranks of the company. That's an outside victory, and everyone's going to cheer and celebrate. So they kind of go hand in hand, you guys, right? Your goal isn't to attract people to you. Your goal is to change them because they are attracted to you. So how can I change people? How can I change people's belief, right? Set the example, right? So someone comes in and they say, okay, I don't really believe in this whole network marketing thing, but I see that you believe in it. So tell me how to do it. Tell me what you're doing. Well, people have to see your examples. They have to see your success. You have to close the gap. And this is a really important one for belief. This is probably the second most important thing on this call, is closing the gap. See, what happens is, and believe me, I am just as, guilty of doing this. When I first, got to my big rank in my first company and I was the deal. Oh God, that felt great. You want to keep, like, people put you on the pedestal and you don't try to jump off, right? You're like, oh yeah, no, I'm the deal. And you learn very quickly that is, it feels good temporarily, but a true leader understands that if you're on a pedestal and you're this great thing that's doing hundreds of thousands a month in volume and making thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a month, and your person's here in belief and you're here, this gap is what will prevent this person from ever believing enough. So you got to close the gap. And what that means is, yes, I'm here, but let me tell you about my first 3 months in network marketing when I totally sucked. And I pissed people off, and I said the wrong thing, and I was deathly afraid to talk in front of people, and people quit on me, and people mocked me, and they ridiculed me, and they rejected me, and I don't even know how I'm still here today, because my first 3 to 4 months in this industry was freaking awful. And I wanted to quit every day. And I doubted myself every day. And when I would drive 90 miles to show up at a meeting and they didn't show up, or they had 0 people show up, I would cry all the way home for the nights that I missed with my children for nothing. And I thought, can I really do this? When I got rejection from friends or rejection from families, I doubted myself over and over and over again. But I just kept doing it because I knew there had to be somebody else like me. And I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I had to find someone else. And in my 3rd and 4th month, when I just kept asking people, who do you know who do you know who, I was referred 3 people in those 2 months. And those 3 people were like me. They got it. And we built a team of thousands of people together because they believed in me and I believed in them. And I never lost belief in the process. And you will grow into it. But people have to see you not as you are, but as you were. So the best thing you can do, instead of standing on stage or on calls talking about all of your extraordinary success, is close that gap and talk about your failures. Because everyone who hasn't had success yet is still failing. And if they're failing and they think you never failed, they will never believe that they can be where you are. You have to close that gap. They have to see your success to be inspired, but they have to see your failures to be changed. This is Belief 101. So, Mentoring will help a lot to, raise belief. You can mentor people, you can share your stories, you can model success, and belief becomes a magnet, right? The reason that your people always want to be enrolled by the top people of the company isn't because they speak better or they dress better or they have a different lifestyle, they drive a nicer car. The reason it is because they are bulletproof in their belief. They know who they are, they know where they're going, and they know why they're going there. And that is attractive because, again, most people are wandering around aimlessly, not believing in anything because of long-term programming or lack of belief around them, lack of belief from their parents or their friends or their, family. And we've been beaten up mentally all our life, and then all of a sudden we want you to just go be a superstar? No. Belief also comes from, and this is number 5. I don't even know how I probably got off numbers, but number 5 is belief comes from a cause, a mission. I say in every single call, whether it's a 3-way call, a launch call, a living room, a hotel, standing on stage, getting awards, whatever it is, I talk about what I'm doing, and the things I'm going to do the rest of my life is I'm going to help people get healthy through products and education personally. I'm going to keep finding customers. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create entrepreneurs that are going to also help people get healthy through products and education, and I'm going to have an exponential impact. That is my mission. I want to create thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of wellness entrepreneurs to help turn around the disgusting growing rates of cancer. And that's just my passion, right? There's people that want to help people with phone and makeup and jewelry. It's so great that we need everyone. We can't all be like me, right? We need people to have difference of missions. But belief in your mission will give you belief sustainability. Because like I said before, I believe in my mission so much that nothing is going to take me off of this mission. Nothing could dethrone me from what I want to do. I'm not going to be like, I told someone the other day, they said, will you look at my company? I said, you could tell me you were going to give me $5 million a month for the next year, and I still wouldn't do that. I know that sounds really crazy. $60 million, I'd be done. But it wouldn't get me out of bed excited. It wouldn't make my heart sing. Happiness does not come from things. Happiness comes from doing what you love and feeling great about what you do. Happiness comes from love and kindness and charity and hope. It does not come from cars or houses or trips or jets. Those just make life more comfortable. So I said, no, I wouldn't be happy, because what drives me every day through the hard times, through the sacrifice, through the, my kids going, why are you going on another call, mommy? Or why do you have to travel again? What keeps me there is that I know that I'm going to leave the world a better place, and I'm going to make a little footprint on the world that I at least have impacted, hopefully a few million people by the time I'm done. And so it's like, it's not about money, guys, and it can't be. You have to have a mission and you have to have a cause. And when you do, you will attract other people who also believe in that mission and that cause. So you don't sell people, you share your mission and you attract people. And that's what belief does. So do you believe in what you're doing? Is your mission so deeply ingrained in every part of your body that you're just going to attract people? And I know this is going to sound really funny, but my husband fell asleep early. We were watching some Netflix, and he fell asleep within 20 minutes. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm wide awake and it's 10:30 and I don't want to go to bed yet. So I started surfing Netflix. And of course, I'm not going to watch a show or drama. I started going to the documentaries. You know what I rewatched last night again? Oh, so exciting. The Secret. You got to rewatch The Secret. It's on Netflix. And I know all you on Netflix. $10.99, get a free month trial of Netflix and watch The Secret again. You will always attract what frequency you're vibrating in. If you are positive and you are looking for health professionals and you're looking for entrepreneurs and this is what you dominate your thoughts, you will find them. And that's what a mission will do. A mission radiates your belief and puts the positivity and the thoughts and the impulses out, so you will continually attract what you believe. That's what a mission will do for belief. It will get you out of bed, it will motivate you, and you'll never have to have anybody else motivate you again. All right. So, closing thoughts. Products. Now, products or services. I believe in the product that I promote. I believe in it beyond any words that can say. And when I believe that I'm people that take my product, or people that use your product or service, you believe in some way their life will be better, more convenient, more healthy, something physiologically. If you sell weight loss, then they'll feel better about themselves physically and mentally, and their relationships can improve, right? If you sell something that's going to save people money, then you believe that extra money can lighten the burden in their household and give them conveniences or whatever. You must believe in what you're selling, because if you don't, then you're just, again, people sense that, you guys. And I only teach what I believe, and I only sell what I know. I don't try to sell people what I don't know. And everything I've taught and everything that I do is from things that I have learned, right? I have spent 9.5 years learning about the body and nutrition and our interactions on our cells. Like, I literally could probably have a PhD in nutrition right now for everything I've done. I like to say, when people say I'm not a salesperson, I know this sounds really cliche, but I promise you guys, if you're doing network marketing right, you're not selling. You're sharing. Hey, I use this product and it did this for me. Check it out. Hey, I use this makeup and look how great it looks. This is just from the store. I don't buy anything. I should support my MLM friends, and I have some products from MLM, but I use this weight loss program and it worked. I use this energy drink and it gave me energy. Oh, look at this jewelry. Well, my friend sells it. You should go, and here's her website, right? If you want to give referrals out, but I only share things from experience, and that's why I could never be recruited to a company. That's why I'm not recruitable. When I chose the company I'm in, I looked at every company globally in the entire Direct Sales Association, plus about 10 that weren't even in it yet. And I went through them with one of my leaders, bullet by bullet, scratching ones off that I couldn't sell, scratching ones off that weren't product-based, scratching them off that weren't wellness, scratching them off that were too old, not in the United States. And I was literally, for what I wanted to do, for what I wanted to represent, there was only one company, which is why I didn't go to any of the fly-ins. After doing $170 million, I promise you, I could have gotten fly-ins and really big offers. I did get seven-figure offers at many companies that were unsolicited. I'm sure I could have solicited many of them, but I went to this company because it was what was congruent with my values and my belief of what I wanted to do. And so that's why I wake up every day excited. That's why I make sacrifices. That's why I pack my calendar out. That's why I'm doing what I do. Because financially, I could do anything I want, but I'm doing this every day because I believe wholeheartedly what I do. And because I do that, I attract others who believe it. So you just don't get into network marketing just to sell shit. Sorry. Oops. Don't get into network marketing just to sell stuff. You could do it. You could do anything. You want to sell stuff? You want to make a lot of money? Go get it. Go be a real estate agent. They make a lot of money. I could go make $500,000. I have friends locally that make $500,000 a year. One of my best friends, she makes $180,000 her first year in real estate, right? I could seriously, you want to sell stuff? You can sell stuff. You can go sell cars. You can make a six-figure income selling cars. You can sell anything. This industry is not about selling products and making a buck. This industry is a people business around a product. It's a personal development industry where you're developing people to get them to share the product over and over again. And you build teams and you teach them mindset, you teach them skill set, and you teach them leadership. And when you do that, and when you build people, you don't build a business, you build people, and people build the business. So I think that everyone should stop and take a moment today and think about, why am I doing what I'm doing? Do I believe? What are the people around me believe in? What are my core deep beliefs in myself and really, kind of extract them and start working on you. Because I can teach every one of you. I can teach a monkey how to do my business. I can teach someone how to push buttons and play videos and send texts. That's really the easy part. The hard part is believing in yourself to sustain all the garbage that comes around with building a network marketing business, the rejection, the times that we are feeling deflated, the what's it called? The ridicule from people and the failures. You're going to have to go from failure to failure to failure on your way to success. And we have to, belief is what will keep you going. Belief in yourself, belief in the industry, belief in your products or services, and belief in the company, belief in the timing, belief in your team, belief in the network, belief in your support system. That will keep you going. And you know, I don't think anyone should just give up and leave, but if you don't feel great about what you're doing every day. I had to leave my last company because I did not feel great about it every day. I didn't believe in some of the products, I didn't believe in some of the leaders, and I didn't believe in the long-term viability of that company. So as hard as it was, that's why I had to leave. And so believe, don't let anybody keep you there for any reason. This is your life. This is your journey. This is your mission. You know, this is your legacy. And so start with belief and you will end with victory. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend and I will see you Monday for episode 22.